A prime example of a nation just beginning to rise above the economic abyss after years of economic misfortune is Jamaica. Jamaica is a third world nation whose manufacturing, tourism, insurance, mining, and agricultural sectors all heavily rely on services. The GDP of the nation is made up of these services to a degree of roughly 65%. However, a high rate of crime, corruption, unemployment, and public debt pose a threat to Jamaica's economy and can make it go from the sublime to the ridiculous. In this video, we are going to answer the following questions. How is the Jamaican economy doing? What are the economic challenges there? And how can the government address them? Jamaica, the largest English-speaking island in the Caribbean and the third largest in general, is perfectly situated in the middle of the region. It's richly blessed with natural resources, including abundant bauxite, marble, and limestone deposits. The fact that more than 500 million people live in the Western Hemisphere within a 4-hour flight radius of the island adds to its strategic importance. With its strategic location at the intersection of the main sea and air routes into the Caribbean basin, it offers transnational corporations, TNCs, a strong financial foundation for their operations in the region, enabling them to easily access markets throughout North and South America and the rest of the globe as a whole. It's like this country is few and far between. Set amid the beautiful scenery of the Blue Mountains, Kingston, the nation's capital, is a cosmopolitan hub of trade and culture that is well positioned for worldwide expansion and business. Due to its convenient access to the Panama Canal shipping lanes, Kingston Harbour, the 7th biggest natural harbour in the world, sees a lot of nautical traffic. With recent developments enabling it to handle post-Panamax boats, Jamaica has positioned itself to evolve into a major multimodal logistics hub in the area by using its port and logistical capabilities, closeness to key markets, and prime location. Seems like they have all the ingredients of a tasteful meal. If you like this video so far, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Despite having an upper middle class income, Jamaica's economy is having difficulties because of its slow development, large public debt, and susceptibility to outside shocks. The COVID-19 global pandemic and tropical storm-related flooding had a devastating impact on the economy there, causing a 10% GDP contraction in 2020 until a 4.6% recovery the following year. Also, the growth rate of the real GDP was 5.22% in 2022 and is expected to stay positive until 2028. This should fit the bill, right? According to preliminary IMF data, Jamaica's growth rate in 2022 was approximately 4%. This increase was mostly driven by the resurgence of the tourist sector, which accounted for 35% of GDP and had US stopover travelers as its main market, and mining exports, which accounted for 10% of global bauxite production. The forecast indicates that activity will continue to rebound in 2023, 3%, and 2024, 2.3%, although there are still significant worldwide risks. The Jamaican government concentrates on a few core areas with significant investment potential due to the country's strategic position, which offers tremendous trade and investment opportunities, as well as several benefits for foreign enterprises doing business there. They've got an ace up their sleeve. First, when it comes to business process outsourcing, BPO, it tops the Caribbean as the best place to invest in BPO. Currently, more than 50 businesses provide BPO services in the nation. These businesses include both domestically based organizations like ITEL BPO and international players like Conduent, formerly Xerox. Second, tourism. With its reputation as a top travel destination and its plethora of international hotel brands, it offers the ideal environment for investors. Jamaica's allure is undeniable due to its stunning landscape, top-notch lodging and attractions, vibrant culture, and the friendly, welcoming demeanor of its people. Jamaica welcomed almost 4 million visitors to the country in 2017. Economic victory seemed in the bag, no? Third, logistics. As the Panama Canal widens, Jamaica stands to gain from the fresh and creative business endeavors in its efforts to establish itself as the fourth link in the global logistics network, after Rotterdam, Dubai, and Singapore. Over the last few years, it has made significant investments in logistics, one of which being the sale of the Kingston Container Terminal to CMA CGM, the world's third largest shipping line, in 2016. The need for global standard logistics infrastructure serving the US Eastern Seaboard will be met by Jamaica's logistics hub due to its close proximity to important east-west shipping channels and direct links to all surrounding ports. Fourth, agriculture. Investment in agriculture and/or agribusiness is highly advantageous in Jamaica. Investors have the potential to earn high returns on their investment in the country due to the large local markets supported by millions of tourists each year. The growing demand for premium Jamaican produce abroad, a network of trade agreements, and the country's proximity to important export markets. In fact, the value added to the agricultural sector as a percentage of GDP was 8.10 in 2022, and the maximum was 8.68 in 2020. Fifth, manufacturing. Jamaica is well positioned for export-focused, specialized manufacturing and assembly activities, since it is situated at the crossroads of Caribbean Sea and air routes. There will be many chances for commercial interests to be integrated into the global supply chain under the Jamaica Logistics Hub Plan, especially in light of the nation's natural riches. With income tax deductions, duty-free import incentives, and other alluring advantages for conducting business there, these industries have extremely promising futures. This is Jamaica's bag of tricks. In order to promote the establishment of productive zones with unique investor concessions, the nation has established the Special Economic Zone (SEZ) system. Jamaica has been striving to enhance its fiscal prudence and economic indicators in order to foster an atmosphere conducive to the growth of these investment prospects. The government there keeps working to raise its level of overall competitiveness and ease of doing business. In terms of ease of doing business, Jamaica is ranked 71st out of 190 economies in the most recent World Bank annual assessment. Jamaica's ranking increased from 75 in 2018 to 71 in 2019. With 25 implemented reforms during the past 15 years, Jamaica now ranks third in Latin America and the Caribbean, behind only Mexico and Colombia. It retained its position at 6th in the Latin American and Caribbean area, but came in second in the Caribbean, behind Puerto Rico, in the 2017 World Bank Doing Business report. Along with a decreased trend in inflation, unemployment has been declining due to a rise in projects and businesses. As of January 2018, the estimate for inflation was 5.2%. Another example of the Jamaican economy's prosperity is the Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE. It has performed exceptionally well, as seen by the outstanding results of the junior market and major market indices. The primary index has increased over the last 3 years, and as the economy stabilizes and private capital grows, it is anticipated that this trend will continue. A conducive business environment, enhanced public sector performance, careful planning, and responsible spending have all contributed to Jamaica's economic breakthroughs. The nation will keep moving forward in this direction to increase its economic growth. Just what the doctor ordered. No? High rates of poverty are the root cause of unemployment. As a result, there are a lot of school dropouts, which immediately affects the labour force. Also, a well-known centre for drug trade is Jamaica. Drug cartels have used this as a catalyst for the formation of violent gangs, which has increased crime. Because of the extreme high rate of crime in Jamaica, it is the main factor contributing to economic instability. Economic investors tend to avoid risk. Therefore, economic instability poses a serious threat to the economy. Economic development is also hampered by institutional corruption in the nation, since funds from donors and development partners, as well as government funds, are not used effectively. Seems like the years of economic prosperity went down the drain. The government's attempt to save other failing economy sectors of the country led to a significant amount of foreign debt, which Jamaica currently owes. Debt servicing, even though funding from donors tends to lessen the load somewhat, prevents the government from investing in other sectors of the economy, resulting in stagnation. In addition, even with a strong increase in the national debt of Jamaica in 2020, it was predicted that between 2023 and 2028, Jamaica's national debt to GDP ratio will steadily decline by a total of 17.3 percentage points. The ratio is predicted to drop for the 15th year in a row to 55.04% in 2028, marking a new low. Addressing the underlying causes of these economic issues is the key to recovering Jamaica's failing economy. It needs to spend money on competent leadership. A government ought to make a sufficient commitment to carry out measures meant to achieve sustainable growth. The government there is hedging its bets. The education sector can be improved by such strategies. Focusing on the education sector, a workforce with high levels of qualification will enter the labour market. The insecurity that impedes economic growth is the main issue facing the economy there. The government has launched aggressive public campaigns to increase the number of kids enrolled in educational institutions in an effort to address the issue. Since kids will be attending school instead of joining hazardous drug cartels, the high crime rates can be reduced. Actually, the secondary school enrollment rates increased in 2016 after a sharp decline in the previous years. In addition, a nation with a high level of education is inherently powerful and capable of producing a labour force that is efficient. By providing loans to small-scale borrowers, the government can enhance the financial sector and aid in the reduction of public debt. This would significantly lessen the need for the government to take out large loans from the global financial organisations like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. Seems like the government there took the bull by the horns. Achieving this goal is hampered by Jamaica's economic development issues, which include primarily poverty, poor education, unemployment, and insecurity. These issues also deter investment. Nonetheless, the administration should be commended for its efforts in putting economic policies into place that should lead to economic stability in the nation. The fundamental truth about all of these economic issues is that strong economic policies and excellent governance are what propel the development of an internationally competitive economy. Otherwise, it would look like Jamaica had its chips. Thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons to receive more content. See you in the next video.